Hi guys, it's Ann with Art on the Creek. I am just in such a good mood today, and I think part of it is we are just having the most beautiful fall here in Colorado. This is just from my neighborhood. Look at all of those colors. I'm so excited. And because all of these leaves were so generous with their beauty this year, I thought it would be a perfect time for us to test the Schmincke Horadam Super Granulating colors. Sneak peek, look at this. All right, are you ready? Let's get to it. Okay, so I love these sets. I have coveted them since they came out. I love watercolors that do unique things. I mean, look at this granulation. That's incredible. And as many of you know, these are multi-pigment paints, so they separate into other colors. I think this Tundra Violet might be my favorite. And this volcano set, the volcano set I wasn't sure I would like, but I really do. And look at the Shire yellow. It turns with this gray. I mean, all of these are just incredible. I thought, no, I'll get the Shire set, but not the forest set. Well, then they're the forest set. They're different greens, so of course I had to get them. I don't think I have them all. I think there's one more set out there that I'm not sure of, but I mean, I'm not sure. Oh, I didn't get the grays, I know. Which, now I want the grays. Anyway, I didn't want to spend the money for these sets because they're not cheap. When they first came out, they only offered the smaller tubes. And they were really quite expensive. They come in a nice wooden box. But, you know, that I just thought, you know, I've got a lot of paint. I don't want to spend that kind of money. So what I did do was look on Etsy because a lot of people are buying these and then splitting them up. And I found this shop, and I will put a link to her shop in the description down below. And wow, I'm telling you, the customer service, number one, the way that these were packaged and sent in was incredible. Now, I ordered 2 kits with 1 box, a kit meaning a quarter pan set. So this is my writing on here, the Tundra and the Shire. This is a nice little tin that she sends them in. You purchase the tin separately, and I made a little swatch card to fit in there. But these are attached with a magnet. Look at that. And it just pops right in. And you can buy, 1 set per tin, but I thought 2 would fit. I wonder if 3 would fit. Let's find out. Let's find out. Yes, you could get by with 3 per 1 tin if you wanted to, but I wanted to have a little bit of mixing space or some room to bring something along with me. So I made these little swatch cards. Now what she does is she sends these cute little stamped out swatches on this size paper, and it's the good paper for it because it's a good rough paper. However, it's too big to fit in here, and I wanted these to fit in with my my sets. And she also sends something really cool. Let me see if I can find it. Well, sadly, I think I have already recycled that, but what she sends is a cheat sheet, a list, because she writes on here which number. Whoops. This is my handwriting, and then this is her handwriting here. So she writes that this one is 931, and then she lists them in order, 931, 32, 33, 34, 35, on a sheet of paper with their names. So for instance, when you're swatching them out, 931, this is Shire Yellow, Shire Olive, Shire Green, Shire Blue, and Shire Gray. And so you know right away what these are. And so what I did on my little swatch is I just wrote Shire on the left and then yellow, olive, green, blue, and gray. Same with the Tundra. I did these with all the sets that I have. And I will save these because they're adorable. And I will use them on a card or something because I think they're just the cutest thing ever. And then I did have a little issue. I ordered the Shire set first. I must have ordered Tundra with it. Yes, I ordered Shire and Tundra. And then I ordered 4 more. And I got the tracking. Everything went great. It was all on schedule. And then the package stopped moving. So Etsy's really good about that. I just got on the little chat function and sent her a message and said, hey, can you update me on this? I see that there's been no movement. And I was just wondering what the status was. She jumped right on it. She sent me all new sets. That other one is, you know, lost in the mail. I never did receive it. And I told her, well, if I do, I'll definitely let you know so I can send it back to you, because I appreciate that is a cost for her. But at any rate, she sent an apology gift. And let me grab it here. I was so touched. Close these up, or no, I'm just gonna move them over for a minute. I got this nice little water brush. Look at that, look at the point on that. This is a good little water brush. And so I'm excited to use this. And then this little box, and I thought, well, that's wild, what came in here? And look at this, it slides out. And now I added these half pans in here, but this is, and they fit perfectly. These are Schmincke half pans. It's a little laser cut wooden palette, and I'm so excited. I could use this for all of my granulating paints if I decide to get more. So these are half pans. That was just so sweet of her. So I told her I would put a link to her shop, and I will in the description. I'll put a link to her shop, and I kind of give my review of not only her excellent customer service, but these paints on my channel. So that's what I'm doing here today. So I'm just going to set this aside because it's the nicest thing. I was just so touched by that kindness, and it just, you know, sometimes in this world, there aren't a lot of kind people out there, especially on social media. And Etsy, these people are business owners. They're trying to get things launched, like I am myself. And I feel like, you know, I appreciate everything that she goes through to make these quarter pans. I mean, they're beautiful. They're filled. I've done the swatches and everything, but they're filled beautifully. And this magnet on here is cut so precisely. There's no stray glue anywhere. I mean, and the packaging was done with absolute care. And the shipping, everything arrived without any damage whatsoever. So to celebrate her Etsy shop, RosiArtTreasures. I'm telling you, it is just the best store to do business with. I've always had good luck with Etsy though, so I went into it with confidence, but she went up and above and beyond. Her little logo is a little cute little baby pig with his chin on a rainbow ball. So when you see that, you'll know you're in the right shop, and I will definitely, like I said, link to it in the description down below. And I highly recommend you see what she has to offer if you're curious about these paints. It's just such an affordable way to check them out. Like I said, the granulation properties are amazing, and they're Schmincke Horadam paints, so they're really high quality. So I thought we could paint some of these amazing, amazing colors in these leaves because I wanted to try this volcano set. And you know how it is when you get paint? Let me move these little leaves out of the way. They're shedding all over the place. And it's a color that you love so much. And then when you go out into the world, you kind of see that color everywhere. And that's kind of all you see is that color. That's kind of the way I feel about these paints. So let me just spray them. This one, my little baby sprayer. I love this one because it does a better mist. This bigger one here is the one I started out using for my ironing, but it ended up on my paint table more. Besides, who wants to iron? Actually, I do iron. I'm a quilter too, so I do iron. And yes, you know who you are. I will make your quilt, I promise. Okay, so now I've got my little, this is the one I want to move to my my plein air kit because it's perfect. And boy, you do need to keep your paints moist when you need to prime them like this when you're in plein air, on plein air. Okay, so come on, there we go. Those are ready. And then I'm just gonna wet them all because I don't know right offhand which one I want to use first. I know I'll get into the volcano and most likely the forest green. But some of these others look kind of cool, like that tundra violet where it separates into the browns is just too cool. Okay, so I literally traced these leaves, and you can see some of the, what is that? Not chlorophyll. Maybe it is chlorophyll. I don't know. The red stuff from the leaves got on the paper. So this is just to play and show you what these paints can do. So what I'm going to do, you need a lot of water when you are working with granulating paints. The paper I'm using is cold press, and it's a ZenArt product. It's decent paper. I would say it's about equal with Cheap Joe's house brand. They're Kilimanjaro. In some ways I like this one better. In some ways I like the Kilimanjaro better. I had some tape. I was using this to make a swatch, and I had some washi tape on it, and I had to move the tape. And then I noticed when I went to paint over where I had taped, the part where the tape was, so I'm not explaining this well. I picked up the tape and moved it to a different location. That former location where the tape was, the paint didn't quite, the paper was damaged, I could tell. So I don't know. I've never had that happen to my Cheap Joe's, but as far as painting on and feel, very close. So I can link to this too. It comes in a lot of different sizes, and it's decent paper. I made a journal out of it that I'm excited to use. So yeah. Okay, so our leaves, I said I was going to throw them away, but now I need them. Let's look at this guy here. The base color under there is in fact yellow. So let's start with that volcano yellow. How can you tell the base color is the color it is? Well, there's lots of ways. I have a color finder that I use sometimes. I also, and I'll show you what that looks like. The real way, to be quite honest, is to train your eye. So once you're painting and working with your paints, you can begin to see if something is a warm color or a cool color. And that is where you could determine the base of the color. So for instance, if this were more of a bluish or a cool red, it would have more of a ruby tone to it. So it's a matter of training your eye and just getting used to your colors. But let me show you something that's a good help to get you started, is something like this. Now this is a Magic Palette color finder, and so you can get back here in the warm reds, and you can see, let's see, I want to paint some red that's in this leaf. You know, I think it's this one, which is in the cadmium red light family. So if you add, these are based on acrylics or oil paints. Here's cadmium red light, the central color. If you add white to it, you'll get this. If you add black to it, you'll get this. Or in our case, neutral tint. And you can add white to achieve these pastel tones, of course, or you can just consider that a thinner wash. So you see this is a warm red. This comes in tandem with a big color chart that you can see where all these colors lie. But this is a fun way to train your eye to get used to colors. Okay, got to get back to this because I got to do this while it's wet. So now we've got that red in there. Now let's just go on to the orange, and I'm just going to drop some in kind of here toward the center. And let me zoom in so you can see, because already, see if I can do it so you don't get glare. There we go. Oop. Already it's really starting to granulate. And now I want the ends to be kind of a brownish color. So let's go in with this Galaxy Brown. So we've gone from volcano to galaxy. That one had a little more time to sit, so it's got some more oomph to it. Spread that around a bit. So this is kind of the ideal way to work with these paints, like I said, is to use a lot of water, which now I'm going in with a volcano red, which is kind of difficult because, to be honest, this is like too much water to paint traditionally. I mean, typically, if I were going to paint something, that this was just a lot of water. But I know that with these granulating paints, I'm going to get some cool effects. So there is that. You adjust the way you're painting for what you're using, which is so true anyway. All right, now I'm going to put more of the yellow in down toward the stem, because here, see that. I'm getting a glare again. I am so sorry. Let's see. There, light, cooperate with me. So here is this yellow that I'm going to add down here, if I can get it in here. And I can. And then we'll do some more red. Now for the fun part, I'm going to get into this volcano violet, and I'm going to splatter. And that, I'm hoping, will catch all of these. See, now my light is weird. All of these for you, all of these little dots and things. So I'm also going to do just a little bit of green splatter, and let's do this olive green, olive forest. So in order to splatter, I've got water on my brush, into the paint, and then splattering on here. Okay, so there's our first one. Now let's move over to the next. And I don't have to turn this yet, I don't think. Now, obviously, I wasn't really thinking about composition or anything here. This is just to show you what these paints can do, and definitely to celebrate RosiArtTreasures, because, boy, 5-star service, which is something that I really appreciate. I have had, you know, my main career is in education, but for a long time, I worked in the wine industry. And, you know, I was a private client sales representative, and service is so important. I really enjoyed that job. Learned a lot about wine. But it was just in a city that we didn't want to live. So we moved back home, and very happy that I've done that, because now I can devote myself to teaching again. So thank you for being one of my students. Now let's look at our other little leaf. Got all the water down there, and you can tell it's wet because there's a sheen there. I hope you can see that. This one, same sort of thing. The yellow kind of is focused on the left side on this one, so let's do that. Get into the yellow and kind of drop a bunch over here. With all of this water on here, it really is kind of fun to paint, because you're not really, I don't know, it's just like you're dropping color in. It's almost like using an eyedropper instead of painting. You know what I mean? You're just kind of placing color down. All right, what other color should I use in here? Let's see. Let's try this Galaxy, which one is this? The Galaxy Pink. Let's see what that one does. Oh, that's kind of a nice burgundy. I'm not really trying to make these leaves look like they do. We're going to let the paints create the design here. But I do like that Galaxy Pink. That's a fun one. We do have some trees in our neighborhood that are such a beautiful ruby red. I've said it before, but I know that we're nowhere near, you know, the New England. You guys have it incredibly well with your leaves. We went to Boston once during the fall when we've been there several times, but once we went, it was fall, and the leaves, oh my gosh, it was just, you could tell that New England is made for fall. That's where fall was born in my mind. As much as I absolutely adore Colorado and our, I put some violet over here, and our Rocky Mountains and the aspen, it's fall. Fall is all about New England. Now I'm going into the Shire, and this is just the Shire green. Trying to get a good amount on the brush here. And I'll splatter some of this. And what other color should we splatter? Let's try Tundra Green. That's a fun one. Okay, I'm liking the way this looks already. These are going to be fun. So now let's see here. Now we're going to do the big guy. And I'm going to turn this so that it's facing me a little bit and I don't set my hand in all that water. So I'll just start here. And let me get the big leaf out so you can see kind of where we're going. This one has some green in the center. So that's kind of what we'll try on this one. We'll go green and then some really vibrant reds and purples, and maybe we'll put some brown on the edges. So this time, this time I can use that Tundra Violet. That is such a cool color. You know, actually it was, when these first came out, I thought, boy, if I were to get any set at all, it would be the Tundra set. So I was super excited that RosiArtTreasures had the Tundra set available. I think she's got all of them. I'm not 100% sure. So when you check out her shop, have fun because there's a lot to see there. All right, just doing the boring part of painting with water. And this, I really do want a lot of water on here because, you know, me and my dry climate, and this really, you have to have a lot of water to make these paints work well. I mean, you can use them with a normal amount of water, but in order to get the granulation to really jump out and stand out, they need water and they need time to work on their own. You want to avoid using a heat tool if you can with these because it will halt their development wherever they are in the process, you know, unless that's what you want. If you want to stop the granulation from going any further, then a heat tool is just fine. But they really have the best effect if they have time to process. And if you aren't unfamiliar with what granulation is, it is different sizes of pigment in the paint. And you know, the watercolor paper is textured. Well, that pigment, the heavier pigment settles down into the paper, whereas the lighter pigments stay at a higher level on the paper in all of those ridges in the texture. So they're not really ridges, but look close at your paper. You'll know what I mean. What are they? Hills and valleys, I guess, is a better description. But at any rate, that is what the granulation is those granules of pigment. If you've never watched how watercolor paint is made, I recommend checking out a video on it because it's so interesting. And did you know you can make your own watercolor paint? You can. I haven't done it yet. But, you know, I'm the kind of person that I see a new craft and think, oh my gosh, that's so fun. I could do that. And I do, and then I do the craft once and don't want to do it anymore. So that's not going to happen for me. Okay, I'm going to start with this forest. It says brown, but it is green. So let's try that one to start with. Okay, and now just to have some interest with it, where is this? I want to go with the Shire Gray and just put a little bit at the bottom here. And then where's that Tundra? Where is that Tundra Violet? Definitely want to use that. Tundra. Here. Oh, it's in my hand right here. All right, so the Tundra Violet, that's this one. Look at that. It's a tan looking paint. Almost looks like burnt sienna that the indigo got into. So those we're going to separate nicely. Yeah, let's just kind of add this in some interesting places. Okay, now we got to get our oranges in there. Let's go with this Tundra orange just to try it. I'll put some up here. And now I'll go back to the volcano because I really, really like those, how they're working in here. Let's do the red. Up here, I do not have a plan as I'm doing this leaf. I'm just kind of going whichever way the leaf gods are telling me to go. Yeah, I'm totally just winging it here. So you can definitely do the same. And let's get some of this volcano orange in. I like that color. I was also thinking that these would be great on a pumpkin, or you could use them for any rock in a landscape. They would be interesting in animal fur. What else would be good for these? Clothing, any kind of loose background, anything like that. The only thing that I would not use them for, and you know what, now that I'm saying this, somebody try it, please let me know how it works, is a portrait. I don't know, it might make the skin tone look weird, but it might make it look really cool. Like, what if you had freckles and you use this to mix your paints? That might be kind of fun if your subject has freckles. Okay, these look amazing. Now let's see, what haven't I used yet that I want to... Haven't used any of the deep seas yet. Let's do some splashes with deep sea. I'm going to try deep sea indigo on this leaf here. Just as, and then let's go in here with this. What did I write? I can't read my writing. Black, that's what I wrote. Not a hard word to read. There. Now, let's take a little quick peek and see how things are progressing. Look at that. Can you see how that's starting to work? Tip this a little bit, see what gravity can do for us here. This particular leaf is the one I'm watching. Oh, this is going to be so fun. Okay, now I'm going to let these dry, and then I will be back. Ooh, look at that there. And I'll be back, and then we can figure out what we're going to do for the stems. Okay, see you in a bit. These have dried quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead, before I zoom in and show you all of the changes, I'm going to do the stems. I'm going in with the volcano red. And this time I'm not wetting the paper ahead of time just because this area is so narrow. And I will zoom in here for you in just a second. I'm going to go in with a little touch of this violet. Still in the volcano line here. And then I'll do this one with the violet first. And go in with a little bit of that red on top. That's a pretty good mix for the color of those maple leaf stems. The red and the violet in the volcano series. And when you're drawing these, you don't have to make your pencil lines as thick as I made mine. I did that so that you could see them on camera when you're watching this. Now there's just a tiny bit of green that's still in these stems here, and for this I want to use the olive out of the Shire set. Paints have kind of dried up a little bit here. I need to prime them again, but I'll just get them re-wet. They re-wet wonderfully. I mean, these are everything that you know and love about Schmincke Horadam paints will be true with these. They're very high quality paints. All right, now that is done, I mean, as far as composition goes, this isn't much. You could do a whole lot with it, but big pluses, huge takeaway. If you want to sample these without breaking the bank and investing in full-size tubes of all of the sets, definitely check out RosiArtTreasures, and you'll have them in these nice little sets. I'm just gonna set them up there on my shelf to dry. I've got my reference swatches here. We used quite a few of them in our little painting. I don't think I did a lot of the deep sea because there was obviously it goes more blue. But boy, if you did whales or gosh, I was thinking mermaids, unicorns, it's just, you could paint so many things. But here we go. Look at that. Here, I'm going to actually zoom in because that's silly. There. Isn't that just the coolest? Can you see all of this granulation in here? And then here's this one down here. I really like that volcano. Actually, this first one we did might be my favorite. So I am just thrilled to pieces with my new paints. This one up here looks like batik fabric. For all of you quilters out there, you will know what that is. It's a wax resist that they use when they dye fabrics. But yeah, that is my review of the Schmincke Horadam Super Granulating sets. Yes, if you can get your hands on them, please do. If you're lucky enough to be able to have it in your budget to get the full sets, then by all means do it. But if you can't, like myself, and you wanted to get just the little quarter pans to try, definitely go with RosiArtTreasures on Etsy. And like I said, I will link to her shop so that I can balance all these. There you go, guys. There we have it. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope you enjoy some new paints. See you later. Bye. Hello, everybody. It's Anne with Art on the Creek, and I just want to tell you I'm in such a good mood today. Do you ever have one of those days where you just wake up and everything is beautiful outside and it's just such a good mood, and then an airplane flies over when you're trying to talk?